afternoon, good evening, good night, whichever part of the world and whatever time zone you're joining us from. Welcome! Welcome to the 2023 edition of the Black Consciousness Festival, where we're focusing on healing and reconnection for a second year. The Black Consciousness Festival is a global platform that connects people of African descent with each other by sharing and encouraging exchange through information, traditions, histories, intentions, traumas, celebrations, legacies, stories connecting to pride, power, and practice. Our inaugural year was in 2020, where we created a month of conversations and activities around topics of Black consciousness. In 2021, we had a few events: a youth festival, a weekend of conversations and reparations, and in November, conversations on shift, as we explored the many ways in which we as people of African descent shared and rebirthed elements of ourselves. In 2020, we focused on healing and reconnection for the first time, and we've decided to continue that theme this year because it's so important for our soul. The recordings of all of these conversations are available on our website, theblackconsciousnessfestival.com, and our YouTube channel. As you listen to the conversations, we encourage you to be kind to yourself. Pause, breathe consciously, move, and appreciate all that you are. Thank you for joining us.
Bom dia a todo mundo. Estamos aqui no Festival Ciência Negra.
Good morning, everyone. We are today in the festival, Black Consciousness Festival.
E hoje vamos falar sobre
And today
inclusão
we're going to talk about inclusion
no país de Angola, primeiramente. Então, eu vou introduzir Yasmin Morais do Brasil e ela vai falar com Augusto sobre esse tema. Yasmin.
Today we're going to talk about inclusion in Angola, and we're going to introduce Yasmin, and she's going to talk to Augusto. Hello, good evening to everyone. We're going to talk about the social divisions, about the Black conscious movement here in Angola. I'm an activist, Brazilian. I participate in a group that's against racism, and I study about ancestry and lots of factors within that field. And today we're going to talk to this artist and try to have a great conversation about this topic. Augusto, are you there? Can everyone hear me? Yes, we can. I am Augusto Preto. I'm an activist, an independent activist. I'm part of a collective, youth collective, that's not only for people that LGBTQ, but also people that want to fight for the cause. I am LGBTQ. I am the organizer of events LGBTQ here. I started doing activism around 3 years ago. I had a really extreme experience, a really bad experience, and I noticed that it was something that I didn't want other people to go through. So I started first doing posts, talking about things about with gender, and so now people call me an LGBTQ influencer. And through that work, I started connecting with other people that are LGBTQ here. I started also organizing LGBTQ parties. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it during our conversation. First of all, I would like to say it's a huge pleasure to be talking to you. It's important to talk about the experience, the Black experience in African continent, but also in the diaspora.
Experiência que é tão profunda e interessante, porque nós temos essas conexões a partir da diáspora, e a experiência LGBT no Brasil, a experiência LGBT negra no Brasil, tem suas diferenças com a experiência LGBT negra em outros locais, no continente africano e em outras partes da diáspora. Como você tem
How does it go about the the view of LGBT things in Angola? Because the experience here in Brazil is different, but how is it there? Well, here in Angola, things are very, very different. Things are actually starting now. The activism, LGBTQ activism is beginning now. Uh, the association, the IRIS association here in Angola, which LGBTQ association, only has 10 years. Lots of people here are afraid of talking about the subject. People here are afraid of being who they are. There are laws that protect us. Yes, they are. But there are laws that are not taken into effect. For example, I can be in a place with my boyfriend and I can be attacked. I can be hidden. But if I go and I speak to a policeman about it, he'll just ignore me. He will not defend me. So even though there are these laws, they are not enforced. Uh, uh, it's really sad that those laws are not exercised. I think his video had a few technical problems. We'll be back as soon as possible.
Olá, Augusto, você nos ouve? Acredito que estejamos enfrentando alguns problemas de conexão.
Augusto, can you hear us? I believe he had a few connection issues.
Então, esperaremos o retorno do nosso entrevistado, mas enquanto isso, eu penso que seria interessante também falar um pouco a respeito de como esse cenário tem estado no Brasil. Como muitas
While we wait for Augusto, we'll talk about how this scenario has been in Brazil.
voltado para uma perspectiva de extrema-direita, e que inclusive
We lived a moment of extreme right movement here,
parece alguns dos direitos que são cortados
and lots of the laws and rights that we had here were
e a comunidade
reversed by this right-wing government.
investigação. Mas, felizmente, estamos passando por um momento de transformação política.
But fortunately now with the new government, we are having a return to to laws that are look to protect us.
Eu pessoalmente percebo que no Brasil nós
I
temos uma juventude negra muitíssimo ativa. Nós
Here in Brazil, we have a black movement that is quite active. We have lots of groups, collectives, organizations,
comunidades e outros
communities that are always engaged in the subject.
negro que é feito no Brasil,
The black activism here in Brazil in the diaspora
revolucionário, nesse momento sai principalmente das periferias, dos espaços
it takes part especially from the outskirts of town, like places like peripheral places, places of lower income bracket.
com pessoas que estão
But
no continente africano acaba
this dialogue with people that are in Africa, in the African country, is really important. It's important for us to understand their experience. Um,
Estando em Salvador, Salvador é uma
I
cidade
I do a
mais
research
fora do continente
from
africano.
me that
Você
is in
sabe que
Salvador.
Salvador
Salvador, that's a city
é um
that
albergue com acolhimento
is one of
também com
it's the city
acolhimento
that has the most
formaram. E aí
black people outside of Africa.
conjunto de forças
You can see
históricas
the strength, the culture, the story
belíssimo esse
of
espalhadas
of
que
the
vão
of
lá
black people
do Brasil
that are
todo.
here,
Então essa é uma experiência
and
muito
it
interessante de
it
ser colocada
it
aqui,
spreads
mas
through the whole of
esperamos
Brazil.
o nosso convidado para darmos
And I hope that
sobre
our
depois
guests
de
can come
ouvir
back
ele
in soon
falar,
so we can continue the conversation with him.
para que nós possamos dar continuidade. Augusto, você já está entre nós?
Augusto, did you manage to get back on?
Pronto, você já está aqui. Só precisamos lhe escutar melhor. Talvez seja melhor sem o fone.
Augusto managed to get back on, but
Escutar.
we still can't hear you.
Escutar.
We okay. Can you guys hear me now? Yes, we can.
Fazer o seguinte, quando você faz questões, eu vou usar o fone para depois eu responder sem o fone. Porque eu não estou conseguindo ouvir um pouquinho. Tá bom. Vai
Podemos
fazer uma
fazer
questão
assim.
agora.
Okay, we were
Vamos fazer outra pergunta. A minha pergunta específica é: como você pensa que a questão do cenário político, mas, por exemplo, o cenário político partidário ou as organizações, e até questões mais culturais também influenciam como as pessoas percebem e reagem ao direito da comunidade LGBT ou de outras comunidades marginalizadas em Angola?
how does the politics here there in Angola and the association see the LGBTQ community there in Angola?
Todo que nós estamos aqui. O que ele diz é o que as pessoas, o que a sociedade vai fazer. O que nós
Government here
determina.
is like
A política
God
pode
here, you know.
ser-
Politics here that
Então,
determines everything that people are going to do.
telejornal e falou: a partir de hoje tem a lei
For example,
sexualidade, não sei o que, não sei o que, tudo mais.
if
Acho que todo mundo vai seguir isso.
the president says something that
Veio para falar que
everyone has to respect LGBTQ people, people will do that.
Foi questão de 30 segundos e parou de falar disso. Esqueceu.
For example, even on the LGBTQ day here, the president spoke about it for 30 seconds and then he changed the subject. He stopped talking about it. So lots of people that are LGBTQ here, we suffer, you know. The politicians here don't care about our community, being very honestly.
Espaços públicos é difícil nós conseguir espaços públicos.
In public areas is very hard for us to be in. When they know that we are LGBTQ, they actually don't allow us to go within certain spaces.
Olha, deixa que ver, eu acho que o novo diretor, se não me engano, o Hugo, sim, ele foi, parece deus para nós, nos deu espaço para dar, para fazer atividade.
One of the in one of the organizations here, Hugo, that's a director of this organization, he's been like a savior for us. He's been bringing light to us as a minority, and Hugo, when came here, he gave lots of support. Guimarães de Rosa really helped us. But our politicians don't really care about our movement. They don't really take to effect our rights. Unfortunately, that's what I have to say. That's the reality here.
Muito importante quando você traz na sua fala essa questão específica da necessidade tanto do acesso ao espaço público, como também a espaços nos quais seja possível construir cultura a partir das iniciativas. Porque, isso é verdade, aqui no Brasil nós temos legislações que protegem pessoas LGBT e também algumas minorias, mas ainda há todo um clima, não é
It's very
mesmo?
interesting that you talk about the public spaces and getting access and building culture within those spaces. Here in Brazil, things are different, but there is still a stigma about it. It's really hard to go somewhere and do something without fear. Did you manage to hear everything I say? I'm going to say the next question. The next question is about the cultural scenery. In the artistical area, do you guys feel that there is this liberty, this freeness, this more receptive area within that bracket? In that area, things have been going well. Well, right now we have two spaces. We've got G2B, that's we've got Iris Iris Place, Hompi. Those are spaces cultural spaces that has arts, photography, things that we've been collecting and building in these few years from these few years. Like I've been saying before, everything for us now is very new. The fight is very new here. We've got some websites of our culture, of our art, with dances and everything, with ballet dances and everything, and it's been lots of things that we've actually been able to get in the last 3 years, but uh, but I don't like the idea of only us within our culture, within our niche, to be growing. I would like us to be recognized and growing within society, within the whole country, you know. For example, I am an event organizer. For example, I see how the people that are within the niche are really creative, really talented. And I would love for those people to be seen everywhere, not only within our culture, within our niche. They're amazing people. I totally agree. The music, the cultural experience is really, really rich. And it's really interesting to parallel that with Bahia, because there are a lot of aspects of the of Angolan culture here in Brazil. For example, there is something that's how has been your experience with music? Did you start recently? Have you been doing it for a while? How has it been like?
Ah, olha, eu sempre gostei muito de música. E também
I've
sempre fui
always
aquele
loved
que quando eu
music.
sei cantar, eu não tenho voz para cantar.
I always say that
Sempre,
I don't
nos
sing.
últimos anos,
I
nessa
don't have
altura mais
the
jovem,
voice to
mais
sing,
adolescente, na verdade, que esse rap mesmo
but
tomava meu
I've
lugar,
always loved
tomava
music.
meu lugar que eu pertencia.
Since
Então
I
sempre
was
conheci música, sempre tive bom gosto de música. Quando
I've
era
always
pequeno,
loved
ia
music. I
para festas
always
de igreja, convidava para
liked
tocar música
going
na frente da igreja,
to
porque eu tinha música que às vezes
parties,
conhecia as
to
pessoas
cultural
e a deixar as
events.
pessoas felizes através das minhas músicas.
I've always used
E uma
music
vez
to make people happy.
houve um post de um amigo que
I
falava
saw a
que
post
que
from a friend
tocava muita música
that used
que
to
tocava pop,
play lots
alguns termos. Então,
of
tinha que ter um
heterosexual music.
DJ, alguém que
He
conhece
was a
a
DJ
nossa cultura, que conhece
and he was looking for
aquilo que nós
a
fazemos bem.
DJ that was
Bom,
LGBTQ.
aí eu fui para casa de um
And
amigo,
I was
na casa
like,
de um amigo,
okay, let
e
me
sempre
try
fazia
to
festa de aniversário.
look into that. So I went to a
Eu
friend's
gravei no
house
telemóvel, toquei
and I
a música
started
com o meu
trying
telemóvel.
it out.
Todo mundo me elogiou, me encorajou.
Everyone liked the
Disse,
thing I was
Augusto,
doing. They
você
liked
toca muito
my
bem. Eu
work,
falei, sim, eu poderia
and I
ser
was like,
também.
well,
Eu
maybe I
fui,
could be a
assim eu
DJ.
falo, eu falo, todas as atuações que eu tive até agora foram sempre um espetáculo para mim, sempre
Every single
espetáculos
party I've done,
ainda hoje é
single
emoção
place I've gone,
ir ao
and it's
Brasil,
been a great
ir para
experience,
o
you know.
Brasil, sim, o único lugar que eu posso ir é Brasil, porque eu falo português
Unfortunately, the
é
only
minha
place that
língua.
I can like travel to
E
the
eu,
DJ is Brazil because of the language.
a minha paixão pela música e gostei mais de
But
começar
I've been in
a
love
me aprofundar pela
with
música,
music
conhecer
since a
outros
young
estilos
age.
diferentes de música.
And then I
Porque
started learning
a
new
brasileira não
styles
só
of
faz música
music, new
boa,
types of
a
music,
brasileira
everything within our niche.
é mais conhecida por música boa. Tipo, é uma forma de dizer,
Like for example, my parties are known for really great music,
é isso.
not only LGBTQ music.
Nossa, que maravilha. Gostaria muito de ir. Eu já fui em
Oh,
algumas
that's really great.
festas na
I wish I could
Luanda,
go.
uma experiência maravilhosa. E eu sonho também com o dia que eu irei a Angola. Está assim na
I
minha
have a
lista
dream
de
to one day go
destinos
to Angola.
que eu desejo conhecer. E a minha
It's
outra
one of the
pergunta
places I really would love
também, eu
to
gostaria de
go.
saber sobre essas conexões que você tem com outros países da diáspora, como, por exemplo,
I
os
would
países
also like to know about what the
da
connection
África,
that you
como
have with
Angola, por
other
exemplo,
countries in the
Colômbia.
diaspora.
Você também tem essa conexão com algum artista brasileiro ou com algum
Do you
artista
also have a
brasileiro que
connection
você não só pelas
with a
festas?
Brazilian artist or anyone from other countries?
Infelizmente, eu nunca saí de Luanda, de Angola.
Unfortunately, I've never left
Angola.
Angola.
Eu ainda não saí.
I still haven't
Na
left.
verdade, é por falta é por escolha de ou vais colocar comida em casa
Not
ou tens que tratar de
not
Angola.
really for a lack of
Não,
opportunity,
porque
but
na
for a
verdade não tem
choice.
jeito. A vida é assim.
Um,
Tenho muitas conexões. Isso é
I
real.
have lots of
Tenho amigos
connections
que
with
vivem fora,
people
falam comigo
from
pela internet.
outside.
Eu digo que são minha família, que estamos a crescer, que eu
I
conheço
always
há
say that
anos
they are my
através da
family
internet,
from
falamos
outside
sobre
of
a vida,
Angola.
sobre
We
ativismo,
always share
falamos sobre
ideas,
ciência.
share
Tenho amigos
work.
moçambicanos,
We've got people from Mozambique, from
e
Brazil, South
tenho muitas conexões.
Africa.
Nunca saí, ainda não
There's lots of
estou
people that have connections,
procurando
but
talvez
unfortunately, I've never left
desenvolver
Luanda.
lugar.
But maybe next year I'll look to do a connection with somewhere
Ah,
else.
com certeza. Venha aqui para o Brasil, nos visite na Bahia. Tenho certeza que você irá
Come to Brazil,
gostar
come to visit us here in
dessa cidade
Bahia.
maravilhosa que temos aqui. E
I'm
assim,
sure
você
that
também
you will
conhece
love
ou
coming
conhece algum
here.
cantor ou algum artista brasileiro que
Is
você
there any
gostaria de compartilhar
artist,
comigo?
Brazilian
Alguma
artist
conexão com o artista brasileiro?
that you've had a connection that you admire or something like that?
Então, como a arte brasileira, é isso?
Sim.
Tá bom. Olha, o meu sonho é
My
fazer uma
dream
festa e trazer
would
a
be
Glória Groove.
to do a party with Gloria Groovy,
Ludmilla,
with
Eu
Ludmilla.
adoro Ludmilla, nossa.
Glória Groove,
Those some of
Ludmilla,
the Brazilian artists that I really admire.
Isa,
Isa is
conhece
amazing.
Isa?
She's an amazing
Isa,
artist.
Isa,
Isa would be the number one artist that I'd love to bring here. LGBTQ community here loves Korean Groovy. We
So,
LGBTQ
us
Angolan
as
LGBTQ
LGBT from Angola, we inspire ourselves mostly
Brazilian artists.
in fashion from Brazil, soap operas, series.
We consume a lot of
So,
Brazilian culture here.
any artist from Brazil, especially black, that comes and sings here, um,
For example, artists like Linda Quebrada,
Berekwe, we have
Indiana
Majo,
Joe.
we have a lot of African people
I'd
here.
love to be
I
able
would
to
like
bring
to
all of
be
them
able to
here
bring them
to
here.
Angola to for
My
our community
community
to get
would receive
to know
everyone
them
from with open
because they
arms.
inspire us a lot.
You have no idea how much people want them here. We have to be very courageous in order to act in the space as LGBTQ artists. Uh,
Isso é muito lindo. Eu fiquei realmente
that's
muito
very
emocionada
beautiful.
porque
I
é
feel
importante
very
para
touched because it's very
essa
important
entende
to build these
do
spaces.
de que essa alegria
And the theme of the festival is
sua alegria de
what
áspera.
comes as,
Isso é muito bonito,
from
eu
these
realmente
spaces, which is cure,
ao continente
and
como
building this connection with the continents and being able to see this connection
Brasil,
and through the LGBTQ community in Brazil
e agora
and everything that we've been managing to produce here.
de voltar para
And what I would like to talk about now is what do you think about the if you had to give an advice to the LGBTQ community, young LGBT community in diaspora, what would you say? Like I said, you are our inspiration. What you do, you're not just doing for your space. You're doing for everyone that is behind, especially here in Africa. Being LGBT is it's joined together with like witchcraft. It's said as the white thing. It's witchcraft, and Ludmilla is the Angola society knows Ludmilla, and we don't in our community we don't see as something that is white or white. We don't see things white and black. So when you go and work, put in the work, think about us, because we have been following your example, the example of being courageous in this space. So here, being in our continent, it's hard. Um, People have, have really put in their minds that it's hard, but we keep on going. We shouldn't give up because we need your support. Um, we need to keep on going. The when the way everyone uses their hair there in Brazil, it inspires us. We are not alone. We see that we're not alone.
eu também fiquei emocionada para ser bem sincera.
I feel
É
very
uma conexão que nós
filled
temos
with
muito
emotion.
forte, sabe?
We feel a connection
Essa
deep in our soul.
liberdade
The
não
connection
não
between
não
black
somente
people
passa
is a
por ser
connection
iguais, nós
that
estamos mesmo
is
conectados
a brotherhood. We are
e eu
connected,
gostaria que eles notassem isso, porque
um,
às vezes
and
pessoas aqui no Brasil pensam,
we sometimes we do our things here in Brazil. We only think we are the only ones saying, but there's a lot of people watching us and in other communities outside Brazil. And it's important to hear that because that gives us strength to keep on going. Uh, and we see that what we do here gives us strength and gives people strength in other LGBT communities to keep on going. And inside the Black community, inside the LGBTQ community, you have been building uh, y- your community and you have been able to uh, keep on going. And how have you done that?
um artigo de identidade humana, é um
He,
coletivo de mulheres.
here
Temos as
in
mulheres
Unidade Humana, we have
LGBTQIA,
LGBTQ
pelo menos
uh,
yeah.
community
Temos
built just
temos
of
o Mulheres do
Black
Coração,
women.
tem Mulheres do Coração, temos o
We
Coração de
have
Deus e
a
temos
trans woman
vários
community,
coletivos.
and we have other collectives here.
Entre esses aqui todos, temos a força
But between
de
all of
coesão,
them,
temos a união entre
what
nós. Nos ajudamos, parece
what I
que
really
vocês
like
aí
when something happens,
direcionam os
we
outros.
join together.
E é
One
isso
group will
que
give
tem sido
direction to
agora.
the other,
Temos algumas
and
barreiras pela frente,
we
temos
still have a lot
pessoas
of
que não nos deixam
barriers.
passar, temos lugares que não
A lot of
permitem falar
people
ainda.
don't let us
Tanto
talk,
nós
don't let
cristãos
us
quanto as
be
mulheres,
there,
mulheres
whether
ativistas,
it's a gay man
lésbicas, bissexuais e
or bisexual
transexuais.
or
Então,
transsexual woman,
é basicamente
and
isso.
it's very hard to find space. So basically,
Você me escuta? É porque aqui está um pouco
can you
congelado,
hear
mas
me? I think
eu
your
acho que
image
está
froze,
conectado.
but are you able to hear us?
Então vamos esperar que o áudio ele se estabeleça melhor.
So I
Mas é muito interessante
will wait
mesmo,
for him to
sabe?
come back,
Esses coletivos eles tentam se
and
organizando
it's very
para
interesting how
comunicação.
these collectives
Então,
are
é interessante
able to
algo
organize
acontecendo
themselves.
aí,
And something
justamente
that's recurrent here in
como eles vão
Brazil
conseguir realizar essa
is
conexão com outros
uh,
povos e perceber
managing
que mais nós
to
temos
grow these
mais força
collective circles, and the
para
more we unite,
outros,
the
mais
more we're able to grow
então é algo que eles têm
in our
feito
fights,
constantemente
in
com
search for
pessoas e
fighting for our
essa
rights.
conexão deve se estabelecer
And
quando nós
this
temos
connection with Africa,
então essa
we
força
notice that we have things in
mais de
common,
direitos
and we have a common fight for these rights. And this is very important for for our fights, and this must be remembered because when they find us not organized, that's when we're not able to have the projection that we need.
Olá.
Hello. Oh, it's great that you came
Estou
back.
tendo problema
Yeah,
na
I can
rede.
hear you. I'm having connection problems here. Yeah, it's part of the task. We understand. The other question I wanted to do is specifically about the artists, because you talked about Angolan music, how you've been building these cultural spaces, and then I want to know who are the new artists that are crucial for us in Brazil or other places in diaspora for us to know from Angolan music or DJs, artistic area in general. Who do we need to know?
São nacionais. Olha, eu me alimento
So
mais de música brasileira do que
I
cientistas
see a lot of
da
Brazilian
mitologia
music
angolana.
that sometimes we
O
not
problema das cantoras
able
mais
to leave space for the local
conhecidas que
music.
estão a crescer,
But
o mundo precisa de
Perola is a singer that
eu
we
posso dizer
all
assim,
must know.
temos a Pérola,
She's
temos a
a
Joyce,
great
temos
singer. We have Joyce as well.
temos,
We have
temos a Biba, que é uma cantora trans,
Biba,
temos a Biba,
that is
temos
a
a
trans
Titica,
singer from
que é
here.
uma
We have
também,
Titica,
temos a Biba, temos
we have
a Jade
Biba,
Moura, que é
we
uma
have
cantora trans também,
Jadimora, also a
temos a
trans
também,
singer.
temos o
We have Condi dos Bolos, bisexual singer. We have Manny da Silva, and in fashion, we have Article Today. We have a queer that is a queer person that is been developing clothes that are incredible, and I think it's important to go after these works. And like that you have mentioned, and I've been writing. I hope that everyone that is listening has also been writing, and it's really great to have this experience. And I would like to come back to the past and to your infancy. What were the contacts that made you aware of this path, of being able to follow this path of art? Well, in my infancy, I was more of an actor. I even did theater. I really had no connection with music in my infancy. I sang in church. Uh, in 2014 wasn't long ago. I was singing at church. I was inside the church, but it wasn't something that I was actively searching uh, for music. Fashion, yes, I was very attracted to it. I made clothes out of the cloth I had here in theater, but I didn't follow any of them because I always wanted to be a psychologist. I always wanted to be a psychologist since early in my life. I don't even know where I saw this first, but from early on, uh, I wanted to be a psychologist. I haven't had the opportunity to go back to university and study, but I promise I'll finish my studies in this area, especially now because I know that my community really needs to talk with people that understand their situation. So it's basically that. I'm certain that you're going to manage to graduate in just a question of time. And it's great to know that you had this experience to sing in church. And it's very common here too, people in diaspora. A lot of people learn how to play instruments or singing lessons here in church. And these spaces are dualistic. They support the artistic movement. It's very expensive to pay here for singing lessons, for music lessons, but these spaces they enable our communities to see themselves as art producers and to produce. And now that we're coming towards the end, I would like you to say your final considerations and give you some space as our honored guest uh, to so that everyone can hear what you have in your mind and leave this saved so that everyone is able to hear you. First, I would like to thank Samba for inviting me here. We have this problem of persecution. People send us messages, and I received the message from Samba, I thought it was someone trying to joke with me. Because this happens, the pranking here, but I noticed that it was something real, and it's very great to be here Because at first I thought it wasn't real, but it's who knows me uh, knows that I love being African, and being able to be here to talk about my experience as African, and being able to talk about my community. I mean, there's a lot of people that would like to be here, and for me to be able to carry this voice for all my community, it's an honor. Thank you so much.
Não, tudo que você falou foi maravilhoso. A
Everything you said was wonderful. We had a very interesting conversation. It touched our emotions. Thank you so much for being here for with us, and was certainly a great talk. And now, with conclusion, we would like to pass the word to the Black Consciousness Festival, and thank you for sharing this moment for us. And if you want to go back and look at the recording, you're more than welcome to do so.